What's up? I'm bringing back another video. I don't know if this is going to be a series or if this is going to be short. I have zero idea. But, like, it was supposed to be called, like, Dead End, Gaiden. You know, I didn't really read the whole title. My bad. And the font's kind of hard to see. That's my bad. But, I just saw it's free. So, I was like, oh, okay, free. You know, and I know the available a little bit, you know. So, I've been meaning to get into some of the more games. And this just happened to come out literally the day I was planning on recording anyway. So, I was like, okay. I was like, I'll just record this instead. Because I didn't know what to record really before. But I was like, I'll just record this. Anyway, let's start. I tell you that's not that we have free time. It's just that we're on standby. She slides up to me. True. Canxue can probably handle just about any situation. It's frustrating to admit, but she's much more dependable than I am. I guess I just want her to depend on me too, just like she used to. But that's pretty minor gripe to have in Grin Skeldines, right? She leans in close. When the sound of the door opened, it makes us both jaw up tight. Come think of it, maybe the sound from a minute ago was a knock on the door. Lisette, watch out behind you. Ooh. She whacks Lisette squarely over the head. This is Canxue. I think they speak Japanese, but their names feel slightly Chinese. But I don't really know too much when it comes to Chinese and Japanese, but it does sound more Japanese. I could be 100% wrong though. She's a roommate and the only special welfare trooper besides Lisette and me. She's also the first friend Lisette and I have ever made besides each other. Since Lisette is my girlfriend, it could be said that Canxue is in fact my first real friend. Okay, I just thought it was just one of those things. I didn't really think they were actually together. Commander Kinnison, the first commander of the temporary special welfare trooper unit, which consists of just the three of us. Special welfare trooper unit is to remain on standby. This is Commander Kinnison. Commander Kinnison is the only person I've ever met who can keep his cool while talking with Lisette. That's what the UFE staff department decided. Lisette laughs merely. We haven't even started yet. That kind of risk would think will only last until the battle starts, even if it's just megalomaniacal delusions. Commander's words bitter and scathing. That doesn't apply to UFF. I don't know if the stock price of military prices are on the rise. Not that suspension will matter if you get wiped out. The media has been engaged to report on the war against aliens. There are reporters everywhere. The military accepts your presence since it's good for propaganda. It's like none of them realize the Earth is on the verge of ruin. You say that, but your homeland is just blindly optimistic. There's no evidence of the moon's autonomous government publicly eradicating the citizens. Less than 30% of the population eradicated independently. Canxue, who was reaching from the moon, smiles bitterly. The Independence Party's approval rate dropped from 59% to 32%. Meanwhile, the Autonomy Expansion's Party's ratings went up from 32% to 62%. They say that in times like these, they have to rely on oath. The more Canxue hears, the more bitter expression becomes. But that deluded faith of theirs is based on the planned military operation. Commander Kinnison gives the operator a cue. Remember later, a holographic model of the Earth appears in Central HQ room. Beyond the moon's orbit, 3 space fleets have been deployed, each belong to a different country. Kenji's right. Large vessels from different countries are all gathered in the Central Fleet. The battle in Mars' orbit taught the United Earth Forces a brutal lesson. They separate countries have now unified the armies underneath a single chain of command now. The enemy's invasion has continued unabated, and there were no attempts at communication. Conflict is unavoidable. If mankind doesn't unite as one, the tragedy of Mars will repeat itself. This will be the first interstellar war in mankind's history. It will remain true, even if in truth there's nothing more than a patchwork army. I can't quite believe it either. They're using the newest, most advanced Chinese and American spaceships as mere decoys. But if Lisette sees it that way, then it must be the truth. Correct. The smart units exploring the left and right of the Central Fleet have disabled all of their communications, making sure to go entirely dark. 2 fleets flanking the Central one are displayed in blue. They're likely powered down in order to avoid detection. These types of ordnance are the most frequently used weapons of space warfare. Most are self-propelled, while sails are fired from spaceship cannons. These weapons follow the same basic concept found in other munitions from Earth's history. By exploding, they release huge bursts of shrapnel that slice through their targets. The difference is that the outer space has no atmosphere related to no gravity. That means the shrapnel won't lose its momentum over distance time because these weapons are far deadlier than their atmospheric counterparts. The plan is to lure the enemy into a single area so that they can bombard by ordnance from all directions. The CC have no armor. An analysis of the fierce infantry gathered shows that their bodies consist of soft tissues. The staff department believes that shrapnel is more than sufficient to tear them apart. CC. Cosmic Cendarians, or CC for short, our enemies. Lisette, stay out of your mental commentary. I'm the narrator. The enemy is so overwhelming power that mankind has been forced to settle their differences and unite to counter this threat. And that about sums up the situation. An enemy that manages to break through the depth charges should still be damaged and crippled. The main force was used constantly fire with their lasers to finish them off. Commander King is a credible man. He just keeps talking, never talks about anything anyone around him says.
僕らに任せりゃ昼寝してる間に終わるのに。いかがわしいからですわ。どこが？私たちの出自が。そうですね。
I have to agree with Canxue's words, as much as I dislike them.
魔法少女といえばさ、怪しげな妖精の国からやってきた可愛い妖精に力をもらうのが常識じゃん。
Superpower is definitely strange, but it's also not cute in the slightest.
私たちは魔法少女というよりは、あなた好みの表現を借りれば悪の組織に誘拐されて。
I skipped that accent. That was my bad. I'm sorry. You're pretty expressively put, yeah.
軍という植物的かつ現実的な組織で出世してきた方々にとってはいかがわしいことに変わりありませんので。
So are they all magical girls? Is the main character a magical girl? I just assumed the main character was a guy. Because that's what it seems like. And then those two, and it just seems like it's the if they're all magical girls, so is the main character a girl? It's a truth I have to agree with. I mean, what gave us magical girls, or why especially with the troopers our powers is, I'm assuming, main character magical girl too. Back then, the three of us were assigned to the UFA training facility at Dimmer's base. At the moment, we were aboard a 398 shuttle, undertaking a training mission that doubled as a debris removal detail. We ran into a lot of complications, but Canxue and I semi-finished all of our tasks successfully. We called back to base to report we finished our mission, but despite making repeated transmission, we got no response. Lisette's immediate reaction was to make a huge fuss. At the time, interplanetary blob had gone missing on its voyage home for unknown reasons. Like to me, its focused attention on it, everyone was talking about it. On top of that, due to our precision army, we all knew of more disappearances around the asteroid belt, and that larger village had been dispatched to investigate. I also heard that the fleet station as both Phobos and Deimos bases were officially integrated to the UEF. Lisette said. But in contrast to the assignment, I only feel apprehensive. Aliens? I couldn't bring myself to believe that. Canxue said. That was one heck of a statement to make it ever said, but it at least felt more plausible than aliens. But still, we were candidates to training, so I thought such matters didn't have to do with us. Lisette really wanted to be in our business though. So when we lost communication with the Dimmer's base, I didn't assume that it was a result of mankind's first contact, or rather hostile contact with alien life forms. But whatever the case, we were in a desperate situation. The 398 settler we were on wasn't capable of interplanetary cruise and no land on Mars. Mars and Circe stood directly between us and the Phobos and Dimmer's base. While we could see the planet's surface, we were not on the opposite side of Mars' developed regions. So long as we stayed within Mars' shadow, no one would ever realize we were here. The pair of us was becoming clear. We didn't know what would happen to the interplanetary bases. Nor could we make it to the vicinity of Earth since the 398 settler lacked interplanetary cruising ability. In other words, our only choice was to return to either the Phobos or the Deimos base on our own, despite not knowing what their stats were. Lisette punched her fist at the wall for no particular reason. She really was excited. When she was later, she always kick out walls and Shredskins after watching an action movie she liked. She really hasn't changed from back then. I whispered to myself that if I was Lisette, I wouldn't even mind that fate. She was definitely the least enthused of us three. Still, I used it to help distract me from my anxiety. some part situation got progressively more serious. Since we were part of the army, we weren't supposed to send up a radio transmission without approval. Here with HQ failed to respond as we had no choice. The site of Mars hosts a few smart bases as well as observations, terraforming the lab facilities. We tried to hear all of them, but just like with our base, we wouldn't get a response. Eventually, however, we did receive one transmission, a critical one at that. We are under attack, requesting assistance. The rest of the transmission cut off before telling us anything further. We didn't know where the transmission came from, but it was probably someone on this side of Mars, and in other words, the surface was under attack. That's it. Continuing to throw punch at the wall for no reason. There's a wise decision. Canxue always remains sensible. Although, about 398 Circe couldn't cruise between planets, but it did have 10 days worth of food and water in case of emergencies. If you're watching it actively, you could probably stretch that to 20. We'll use that time to slowly retreat to save for less active sector space, like a silver and oxygen energy. We'll send out the stress signal and wait for help. She just wants to get into a fight. That's all she wants to do. Yeah, I know, Lisette. You want to attack the situation head on. As long as you tried, all those words you said, other than charge, came across shortly for that. I would have loved to agree with Lisette, but I didn't realize Canxue's opinion was the more valid one here. I suggest that we approach a point where we'll clearly visible by the most and forward bases after staying there for a while we begin our retreat. When she said it like that, I feel inclined to agree for. Canxue gave me a pat on the shoulder. I couldn't know about thinking too hard about it. And so, we ended up going with my compromise of a plan. If only I had known what would have come next, I would have gone with Canxue's suggestion without a second thought. We were captured by the CC. No, this was before they were given that destination. We were captured by the aliens. The 398 shuttle we won was 15 minutes away from the point where we will be observable from the forward base. It was then that they appeared from behind Mars' shadow. This was our first glimpse of the invaders. It looked like a small planet or a massive creature. I couldn't say which. The cavity had seen a glowed a strange blue color. I suggested that this might have somehow screwed with our sensors, or maybe that it was just some kind of illusion. Like a background analysis, he might have protected itself from sensors using the same power that we do in order to turn automatic goals. I mean, it's a special warfare troopers. We could see with our bare eyes, but our electronic devices were blind to it. Perhaps there was some kind of charismatic unique to RCC. This is probably the reason why all the spaceports over to Mars were destroyed before they could send out a single distress signal. Right? This is Invincible, a ship from a work of fiction. The protagonist, the Invincible superhuman Glacier, pilots the spaceship. Every episode, Glacier gets in trouble, only to cry out, "Don't underestimate us Earthlings," before transforming into an Invincible superhuman. Sadly though, that's a fiction series. Even though that charge head first would be regular, still, she seems pretty cool when she was so decisively shot her stupid idea. Like for no choice, I tried to grab Lisette away from the controls from behind, but by the time Canxue began maneuvering the shuttle escape, it was already too late. He had no way to notice the presence of our 398 shuttle. Multiple disguised and flying creatures were always pursuing us. Unlike us, they can move freely through space. They will rapidly catching up at us at this rate. Freeing the ship from my grasp, Lisette suddenly overrode the autopilot, taking normal manual control of the shuttle with haphazard maneuvers. Extremely powerful G-forces linked our bodies out the view through our window spun rapidly. Lisette held on tight to the pendant dagger from my neck. A plume of our dresses squarely hit one of the aliens chasing us. I cheered reflexively, Lisette said proudly. It's not that simple. Had she slain the CC at this point, it would have been the very first casualty mankind inflicted upon the CC. I should unfortunately find out the aliens were so harm. I'm sure it may have been relatively small, but our dresses were still moving jet engines. That the alien could take a burst of hard exhaustion to the face without being harmed was terrifying. No kidding. Before we could worry about any aliens though, we had to worry about ourselves. Canxue was struggling to gain control of the shuttle, but valiant efforts were in vain. The 390 ship was confronted by what was either the enemy's spaceship or stronger. Whichever it was huge either way, and we were plummeting towards it. We could see it spinning towards us. I thought back home to my mother. When I left, she sighed and wondered just why a clumsy oaf like me was becoming a soldier. When she concluded it was my bad friend's fault, I got mad at her for insulting Lisette and stormed out of the house. That was the last time I saw her. When I was busy with field exercise on the moon's surface and I wanted to go home, Mom passed away from a cerebral hemorrhage. I didn't go to a funeral. Mom, I may have been a bad daughter, but Lisette was never a bad friend to me. She's my girlfriend. Hey, so we are playing as a girl. I assume so, because they were hinting at magical girls and that the main character is a magical girl herself. And you know, magical girls are, magical girls. So. Never mind, I thought I could see Mom break into a body smile. You poor thing, she said to me. That was when I realized that I must be going crazy. I was trying to talk to dead people already. Too powerful thuds echoed through the shell, each to either side. I could see what looked like suction cups sticking through the portholes. Things began cooling around the shuttle, using their 10 doors to destroy it from the outside. Oh, we're done for. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. I don't really know what I'm apologizing for anymore, but I'm sorry. But just as that thought crossed my mind, the divine crashing sound. God dang it. The more I realized that tankers were creeping to the shuttle's interior, the three of us were blasted into the vacuum of space. Thank for my seats, we lose our sense of direction and we head towards the giant enemy. The push of thrusters built in our ship shoots. Well, woefully acquainted for the sisters, we had no choice of escaping. As three of us fled towards our fate, all we could do was look at one another. So comfort was that we went alone. We actually approached the surface. The blue light filling the countless holes starts in the enemy's core turned out to be a tube-like tentacle up close. Countless pliant tendrils extending from the inside them like whips, grabbing onto us and dragging us down to the surface. The sight resembled a jockey's drug introduced hallucination, a multicolored field, psychedelic, even to think that such a colorful spectrum could exist in real life. That was my final thought before the tankers completely engulfed us. Lisette, Circe, we should probably prepare for the worst. Canxue's voice was tense. It was clear that she was trying to suppress the terror she felt. That wasn't what she was talking about. I understood why Canxue had forced those words out. Already I could see 10 bodies. No, 10 people's worth of crushed remains. They had been torn apart to the point of being utterly robbed of their humanity dignity. They were at the point where it was difficult to recognize them as corpses. Limbs were bent into unnatural angles and torsos were torn apart. It was always that gruesome and brutal ending which awaited us. We were going to be ripped to shreds. Apparently, the pirates of oil were provided suicide capsules. If I had one right now, I would have swallowed without thinking twice. Fortunately, I had no such way of ending my life. Other stories say that you could bite your tongue to kill yourself, but unnecessarily even that would take far too long. But we had known what was coming next. At least Canxue and I would have surely tried to kill us somehow. The tankers put hard on us. I could hear the sound of bones cracking and tendons tearing. I can still do this, just as always prevails. The commercial break hasn't even come on yet. Even Lisette, despite her optimistic darkness of words war, was clearly audible in her pain. Oh, Lisette, you can feel pain? Given how crazy you act every day, I really was starting to doubt that you know so wide properly. Canxue's own sarcasm reminds her of a forensic undertone to him. I wish I could crack jokes like they were, but I lack the presence of mind to do so. Sure, they won't do much better, but that was to separate them from me. Just then I heard an ominous metallic screeching from my spacesuit joints. Oh no. A bone-deep chill penetrated my spacesuit. Circe! I knew I was gonna die here, but I'd be dying with Lisette. We weren't born at the same time. I came out 30 minutes early from all. You know, but at least we'd get started together. The thought floated through my agonized mind. Okay, I'm just gonna check that. It made me want to cry. It did comfort me later, but I wanted to save Lisette. And at the same time, I didn't want her to share a future with someone else. Ugly of me, yes, wasn't it? But that was the thought going through my mind. That was when it happened. Lisette. I repeat her name in my mind like a prayer. Even you can't get out of this. I'm done for it. Too. But Lisette, Circe, I'm glad I got to meet you. I'm a hero. I'll fix it somehow. This can't be. I can't die here. Though all the pain and suffering, Lisette stayed who she was until the very end. That made me all happy. I could feel tears roll up in my eyes. Maybe that's why it looked like Lisette's body was glowing. If I'm a real hero, I'll awaken to my power here and transform. I'll wear a holy white outfit, pull out this cursed sword, and cut these sons of to pieces. I'm assuming part of me feels okay. I'm confused because they're magical ghosts, but I'm assuming they weren't magical ghosts until this moment, because it kind of seems like it's going that route. Yeah, that's the kind of escapism Lisette would have. Lisette slid away yawn to the very final moment, live longer than me, if only just for a few moments. It didn't look that would happen though. A thick tentacle grabbed Lisette's helmet, squeezing like a vice. I could see it cracked below and across her visor. I squeezed my eyes shut. I didn't want to see the moment Lisette's head burst. I wanted my last memory of my beloved Lisette to be the image of a dignified and impressive girl. Whimsical, played for a bit silly, but always funny. She was everything to me. Something's coming. Let's go! What? I couldn't stop myself from opening my eyes. What was this? My field of vision was very wide. I found myself crying out. It couldn't be. Surely this was just some dream of my mind conjured up to offer me refuge from the pain. Lisette just transformed into a holy warrior before my very eyes. Just thinking of the face holy warrior seems almost laughable now. But at the moment, that's how she appeared to me. The tankers tried to call out Lisette, but she gracefully evaded them. Even when they closed in on her, she produced a sort of light of glowing white light with a shrink after shrink just slashed right through them. She's awesome, breathtaking. I found myself forgetting my pain as I stared at her. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was sure there was no way I could even do such thing, but Lisette said if I could, she told me that we could do it together. I burned her image in my thoughts. She looked so cool. I feel my eyes before, fear my emotions boiled over. I want to be like that. I want to look just like her. I desperately wish for those things. Lisette extended her hand to me. I reached out for him with all my strength. And the moment our fingers touched together, a new resolve flowered within me. I could do it if I was with Lisette. Fire flared up from my belly. The insistent heat shot through me until my entire body burned so hard I feel I still I'd melt. The light overflowed and emanated from my body. The light swirled over my extended arm, turned into a holy outfit much like Lisette's. I did it. I transformed too. Sinker's tight hold on me slack, and I had to skip them as easy as breathing, as if it was my second nature. I heard Lisette's voice echoing directly in my mind. I nodded in agreement. Even if this was an illusion, I no longer cared anything as long as I could stay with Lisette. I almost forgotten about Canxue, who still remained in the Tinker's grasp. The Tinker seemed confused by the strange situation, because the Tinker's imprisoned Tinker's body will always come loose. However, that alone would not save her. Her body remained broken and profusely bleeding. In other words, Lisette thought Canxue probably couldn't. I always found a way of blindly believing whatever Lisette said. Canxue was smart though and wasn't as gullible as I was. Lisette suddenly rushed up to Canxue with a slash of a shining sword. Lisette severed the pipe connecting Canxue's oxygen tank to her helmet. What? The water vapor within the helmet forced all at once, blowing out into space at a glint in the mist. At first I thought Lisette was simply granting Canxue a mercy killing. If she truly was though, she wouldn't do it with such a statement. Despite her only accepting her fate, Canxue's eyes now flare up with anger. There was no way she could do it. To think this was how I would see my friend breathe her last. It was then a red light invaded Canxue's body. Couldn't be. Something like glowing veil formed around her, appearing in layers as it took form. Its layers surrounded her body again and again until they also formed a red gothic style dress. She did it! She did indeed, but how? Three of us floated about the sea of wooden tigers, each clad in a particular outfit. Even as she spoke of us, Lisette shrunk a white sword to cut down the tankers headed our way. Can I really? But even as I doubted myself. The white sword that extended from my hand shone even brighter, showing up at an even larger size. It became a sword that was easy to size of a person. I tried to do the same. If Lisette I could do it, then that meant I could do it. I could feel power gather in my hands, and then my fingers lit up, like saying that lion weapon. I recalled an old museum from my hometown. It was an old noble's estate that reeked of old age. I saw a large building. Its head wasn't just a simple point. It also had a scythe-like blade attached perpendicular to the shaft. A pony was meant for use against mounted knights, pulling them from their horses. The spitting image of that very same spirit was now manifested in my hands. I cracked a wide smile. That hadn't been just a clerk, but the museum's curator. Still, the fact that Lisette remembered the moment too made me happy. I swung it at the approaching sinkers. I cut them down with no resistance whatsoever. Just think about going where I want to go. I wished in my mind to go up. Next moment, I feel my body levitate as I ascended.